It's showtime.
Here we go. And action.
Ultimately, this movie is about Jason coming up against Wolf. Wolf is Jason's cautionary tale. The movie is very much about Jason going up against his worst version of himself.
Jason's, I guess you can say very normal. Not normal. I don't really lie too much.
I would say that when we first meet Jason at the beginning of the movie, he lies. I wouldn't say he's a liar, but he lies to get what he wants. He exaggerates, he twists truths. He's willing to do what it takes to get what he wants.
In the movie, Jason writes an essay for school, and Marty Wolf finds the essay and turns it into a movie.
And there's this trailer coming on. Oh, big fat liar. And I'm like, that's my story. I think I wrote that. He said to his dad that he had done it, and so he wants to get his dad's trust back. So that's really what it's doing, because he's a liar.
On some level, he's always trying to get something out of somebody. The challenge then becomes how to have a character who is all those things and also likable. And that's what Frankie has brought to the movie. No matter how manipulative he is at his core, both Jason and Frankie have this kind of really sympathetic, likable quality.
He knows what he's doing. He knows what he wants. Somebody at that age who's able to bring the goods when the goods are needed, it's amazing.
You know, he's totally at ease. That's what's so enviable about him. That kid is smooth as silk, cool as ice. He's good.
We're incredibly lucky in this movie in that we have two of the most popular stars for kids of all ages. These kids are the embodiment of kids' dreams. Frankie and Amanda get to live out a lot of kids' dreams in really exacting and appropriate revenge on a kind of nasty character.
I get in a whole bunch of tangles with a bunch of different people. I'm just constantly fighting with people and chewing people out and going after people. But it's kind of fun for the guy. I mean, I think the guy gets off on having fights with people and screaming at people. He's had a string of failures, so he's at risk of being knocked off his pedestal and losing all his power, so he's just freaking out.
Paul Giamatti, he's the coolest guy. I mean, seriously, he's so hilarious. When we were doing rehearsals, he was just so funny that it's so hard to get through the scene.
First time I saw Paul was on stage when I was going to school. I just think he's fantastic. So before I even read it, I knew that Paul was already in it.
Even when I was reading the script, I didn't imagine the character like that at all. But now that I've seen Paul play Marty like that, it couldn't be any other way.
He just brings so much to the table. It feels like he brings something new every time he acts.
I didn't mention the indignities when I offered him the role. What I promised Paul straight up from the get-go was that we weren't going to just make some lame, soft, patronizing kid movie. We're going to make a movie the kids will love, but a movie that is sharp and arch and satirical.
If he would have just, in the very beginning, said, okay, you know what, I'm going to call your dad and say that you wrote it, then we wouldn't have had to do all these things. But, you know, he egged us on.
The thing about Amanda in this movie is that whatever there is on the page, she adds to it tenfold. Her character is so much more fleshed out than what's in the words, and that's really been a testament to her personality and her instincts. Being a great actor takes huge guts. The thing about Amanda is when you have her in your movie, not using that improv skill, not using that versatility, it's like having this huge resource and not tapping into it.
And we were friends before we started filming, so it was easy to be friends, of course, on camera. Didn't even really think of it. You know, we were just close like that.
I think it's really vital that you know the person or, you know, or even friends with them instead of just meeting them the first day and it's like, okay, we have to be best friends.
She brought so much to the adventure and she helps me out in so many ways in the movie. She has so many voices that she does and everything. It was just hilarious.
The part that I liked the most was when we stayed at the prop warehouse and in the wardrobe warehouse.
We find a set and it's, you know, we go in there and that's where we stay. It's like a set of like a TV show or something, and there's food and there's beds and it's our little hideout.
These kids are they're plunked down in this situation. They're living alone, unsupervised, on a movie studio backlot. What would that be like? I mean, that would be cool for you or I, but imagine if it were also, you know, no parents, no rules, no limits. And so what we wanted is this movie as a ride idea. It was as fun as it looks. We actually called ourselves Lot Pirates because we would just steal shots from everyone else's movie. We were like the little scrappy kid who's like, I'm gonna steal that, I'm gonna steal that. So it was really fun.
Well, Sean is very cool because when he wants me to do something different, he says it and I understand. There's a lot of times where a director will tell me something and you still are unsure what he really wants and means by that.
I went to college with Sean. We did some plays together, so it's nice. I mean, he's a guy that's really good at what he does.
Ready and action!
Sean is just very upbeat. He's so easy to be around. You can tell by Sean's face when it's right and it's time to move on. And he moves so fast, and I love that.
I actually had to ask him, I was like, how many movies have you done? He was like, this is my first one. That's pretty amazing for him to come through the way he's come through.
There was something about his way on the set, the way he dealt with actors, the way he managed his day, the way he just was fully in control, always with a sense of humor, always understanding where the comedy is. And it just doesn't feel like, you know, we're at war like it often does on a movie set.
The fact that many of us came from TV and were used to working at that pace was really helpful. We all knew we had been given a shot.
My name is Jaleel White, okay? Urkel was a character I played when I was a child.
Jaleel White. That guy was great. He was really great. He was he was very funny, and he was fun to work with.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Watch yourself, Wolf. Watch yourself.
Now, we wrote that part for Jaleel. We had no idea whether he would go for it because it required him being willing to make fun of himself. The thing about that performance is that once you get past the Urkel joke, you're left with this, I think, hilarious character.
I just, I like doing scenes with animals.
And Jaleel just really funny.
What can I say?
I mean, you don't spend that long on a TV series honing your comedy chops without gaining the fruit of those years.
Chicken flapped a couple times and we settled it down, but for the most part, the chicken was just on chill status. He would just sit there and his head would just nod off. So it wasn't as tense as I thought it was because, you know, you got the lights around you, whatever. So if the chicken started acting crazy, I can't jump out the car.
I loved all of the limo scenes. I mean, just getting to drive around. Donald's great. He's such a wonderful guy. Really funny, just very sweet and down to earth.
I was Frank Miller at one point in my career. I had an odd job to pay my rent, and I just wanted to be an actor. But I knew if I didn't get a job, I wouldn't be able to eat. I've never met a Marty Wolf before. I've heard stories of someone or some people like Marty Wolf. But that's a miracle. He's a miracle.
Pedal to the meadow, Ricky Retardo! Got a movie to shoot!
Wow, he's so ruthless, it's ridiculous.
I based the character on a couple of people that I've met. I didn't have to do a whole lot of research. I just remembered a lot of the stuff that these guys did. I haven't really worked with people that yell and scream that much, no. I mean, I've been lucky. But you can be mean without yelling and screaming. I mean, I like to think I'm not much like Marty Wolf, but I kind of enjoy playing a guy like that, and I don't think I'm much like that.
It's like every kid's dream to kind of play with a guy. I mean, to kind of play with his mind and make him go crazy.
The blue stuff, they just airbrushed on blue tattoo ink, several layers of it. All through the day, they'd keep adding more and more of it. It was not hard to put on, but it was hard to take off. My feet, I couldn't get it off of for a while. I don't know why my feet in particular, but my feet were blue for months.
I guess my favorite scene is when she finally gets to get back at him. Ultimately, I think she's had enough and joins the bandwagon. Monty's sort of on the other end, trying to keep it together, trying to make it seem like all is well when it's really not. The things that happen to him, she kind of sits back and lets him deal with them on his own.
There were a lot of kids in this movie. The younger kids were out of control. And that I would recommend most actors stay away from.
One of my favorite parts about making a movie is that everything is out of order. I mean, maybe people wouldn't know this going into it. On our last day of filming, we could do the first scene that you are actually going to see.
There's an adrenaline rush to making movies that I'm really enjoying.
just being on the set, I mean, I'm having a blast. Everyone's so cool, and getting to film on this lot. You know, this lot's so huge and fun because there's so much to do.
My favorite time with Paul is usually when the camera's not rolling, and it seems like with two kids, we're the ones who get in the most trouble. We're the ones who are constantly told to pay attention and be quiet.
If we were to revisit Wolf a year, 2 years down the road, he's working at like the popcorn concession stand at some ratty old theater in Paramus, Mr. Funnybones at his side, just feeling pathetic, beaten, and, you know, just kind of woeful.
Oh, he's going to be back. He'll be back on top. Absolutely. He's been there before. He'll get back up on there.
He just wrote a paper for school, you know, and it became a big, huge hit. Maybe now that he does have this credit, you know, he'll have people calling him.
That's what the kid will become if he doesn't clean up his act. He will become that guy.
Frank becomes a huge star. He becomes the next Will Smith. Then E does a true Hollywood story on him.
She's just waiting for the day to turn the tables on him, basically. Just like I am.
As for Jason, I think he's certainly written 2 other films. He's probably directing at this point with a multi-picture deal at Universal Pictures.
Who knows? Maybe we'll have to wait and find out.
I think it's as funny as any comedy you're likely to see, but at the same time, there is a message, there is a heart, there is a real emotional content. It's not just pranks for the sake of pranks. It's about telling the truth and the importance of being honest with people. There's a message there, there's a goal. They really have a mission, they're really out to prove something, and ultimately it's about redemption.